All right, Mark, so we're here to talk about the all the new things that are coming up with the Civic. Tell us about what we can expect with the Civic in the next year.
It's very, very exciting for us at Honda Canada because for the first time in over a decade, we are going to have the Civic Hybrid making a comeback. So of the 4 Civic models, there will be 2 models with gas engines, the 2-liter gas engine, and then the top 2 trim levels will be the Sport Hybrid and the Touring Hybrid, which will have essentially the same power plant as what's in the CR-V and the Accord. Yes, Honda has actually made hybrids for 25 years in Canada. The first one was the Insight, and then that was followed by the Civic Hybrid in the early 2000s, I want to say 2003-ish. So we have made Civic hybrids in the past, but the push has been very, very strong over the last few years to get back into hybrids in volume. It is a bridge between the ICE or internal combustion engine that we've been running for decades and 100 years, I guess now, and the future electric vehicles that we're probably going to see. So Honda fully expects that 60% of their Civic sales will be hybrids, and so they're going to have great production and great supply. So unlike the last couple of years where we had difficulties, supplying vehicles in a short period of time, these are going to start production in the month of July in the plant in Alliston, which recently had a milestone, making their 6 millionth Civic manufactured at the Alliston factory in Ontario. So we're proud of that. And again, they will be built in Ontario here in Canada. So we'll have great supply. We won't have any long waits. We will be selling them probably by the end of July. And again, there will be 2 different trim levels, a sport model, which will be very well equipped with cloth seats. And then there will be a super loaded touring model, adding things such as the Google built-in assistant, the Bose stereo system, high-end stereo system, and leather power seats, etc. Both vehicles will have a 200 horsepower, 232 pound-feet of torque engine and battery pack combination, which is expected to get under 5 liters per 100 kilometers fuel consumption, which is just phenomenal. Like, these things will probably get 800 kilometers on a gas tank and a very inexpensive fill up. So it'll be our most fuel efficient car, and it will be joining the Accord Hybrid and the CR-V Hybrid, which are both doing phenomenally well for us in the last couple of years. Yeah, so the CR-V Hybrid came out exactly 2 years ago for the 2023 model year, and it instantly became our best-selling trim level, even though it was the most expensive CR-V, because so many people appreciate what the hybrid feels like. It has more power than the conventional gas engine, gets significantly better gas mileage, and it's just going to be a smoother, quieter car to drive, so there's no downside to hybrid. There's also no range anxiety, of course, because there's no plugging this car in. All of our hybrids are mild hybrids, not plug-in hybrids. So you drive the car as you would any other normal gas vehicle. You're just going to put 20% less, gas costs. And so definitely the fuel mileage on the CR-V is approximately 6.5 liters per 100. On the Accord, it's about 5.7. And on the Civic, they're saying it's going to be down as low as 4.8 because it is a smaller, lighter car than the other 2, with essentially the same 2-liter engine combined with the battery. So what really helps us here is that since the plant is not even 2 hours away, we typically get cars that are built in Alliston dropped off at our doorstep within 1 week. So we have multiple Civic hybrids that are going to be manufactured in the month of July, some sports and some tourings, and they're all expected to be here by late July. Another thing to keep in mind is that for people that want a little more versatility, there is going to be a Civic hatchback also with the hybrid. That's just coming later in the summer. I don't have the exact on sale date yet, but I would tend to think it's probably going to be potentially September before we will have the hatchback hybrids. So there's actually going to be a total of 4. There's going to be a sport and a touring sedan, a sport and a touring hatchback, all for sale. And again, 60% of our sales of Civics will likely be hybrids within the next year or 2. these days, it seems that almost everybody that walks in the door for the first time is talking hybrid. The CR-V hybrid are the two top models. The EXL hybrid and Touring hybrid are among the two top sellers, despite them being the more expensive top of the line models. People just love the fuel economy. They love the instant torque and quietness, smoothness of the vehicle that is a hybrid, and it does have more power than the gas equivalent. So that's what's been going on for 2 years with the CR-V. And then the Accord came around last year. Larger sedans aren't as big of a market as SUVs, but the Accord has always been rated the best midsize sedan on the planet by Car and Driver magazine. And they say the same thing about the current one. So the Accord hybrid has done very well, where 2 of the 3 Accords are available in hybrid power. And so we have had people ask as far back as last summer because they heard about the upcoming Civic hybrids. We have taken several pre-orders, but we still will have enough supply instantly right out of the gate that anybody that comes in the month of July, maybe August at the latest, will be, they'll be able to get a car without a long wait. And we're definitely going to have a demo set up as soon as the first one arrives. We will put that in our test drive fleet so that people can come check it out. If they've driven an Accord hybrid or if they've driven a CR-V hybrid, they're going to know what the feel is like. But because again, this is the smallest of those 3 vehicles and the lightest with essentially the same power plant, it's going to fly. It actually has replaced the 1.5 turbo as the top engine in the Civic lineup, and it will have 200 horsepower, 232 pounds-feet of torque, which is more than ample. It would be absolutely the best performing Civic that we have, with the exception of the Type R, which is a complete sport model and a different beast altogether. So with regards to availability of the upcoming Civic Hybrid, Honda Canada has already listed it on their website. We expect to get pricing very shortly, perhaps as early as early June. And if you wanted to, obviously honda.ca is a good source, as well as cambridgecenterhonda.com. And whenever we have a little bit more updated information, such as pricing, we will definitely have that listed. But we'd be happy to discuss availability of these cars. We, again, have some people have placed pre-orders just because they know what they're going to be getting. And if they wanted to come in to see the Accord hybrid, to see the CR-V hybrid, to see exactly what they're like, and then potentially look at one of the current Civics, they could get a very good idea of what to expect. There's a little bit of a styling revision coming, just a mild update to the front end styling of the car, but it'll essentially look very similar to the last couple of years Civics. Just again with a better power plant, with amazing best fuel economy of any Honda that we make. And again, when you talk about under 5 liters per 100K, that's absolutely phenomenal. You can't beat it. So we're happy that because Honda has told us that they will have ample supply and tons of production of the hybrids coming out of the Alliston plant, that there will be no limits. We won't have any allocation issues where we won't be able to get enough cars for people. So the Civic, over the last couple of years, when we had production constraints, which means limited availability, it obviously affected our numbers and our ability to sell cars, Now that's not the case. So we will be able to, let somebody go for a test drive, check out the car, and you got white, black, or gray, and you can pick it up next Friday type of thing. There's a couple new colors coming out. There's going to be a Lagoon Blue, there's going to be the Urban Gray, and a Solar Silver. All 3 new colors for the Civic, starting with the 25. So feel free to come in or call in and talk to one of our sales guys here to get more information about the Civic Hybrid, and we hope to take some orders. And then when we have them available in the lot, we will definitely make everybody aware of that so that somebody could come in, test drive the car, fall in love, and let's put a deal together.